All right, so two announcements we got before we get this going. Number one, Roland Garros obviously is happening right now. Tonight between Tiafoe and Arnaldi for a spot in the quarterfinals. Arnaldi got through in just below 5.5 hours. And, as someone who's going to play tennis in college and is a tennis fan, watches tennis, if a match like that can't get you into the sport, then you'll never get into the sport. So I just need to get a quick PSA out there about the fact that these quarterfinals that are coming up, particularly on the men's side, is there's going to be a new Grand Slam champion because Alcaraz and Sinner and Djokovic are all gone for all kinds of different reasons. So you could have an insane last few days of this tournament. You're guaranteed a new champion. So, if you're not tuning into Roland Garros, get that going. Number two, let's go with a band of the day. And for me, if you're looking for a jam band, a jam rock band, I'm going to go with Goose. Take a listen to them. I've been listening to them quite a good amount. And I've really listened all the way through of the Chain Your Dragon album. Tune into that. But anyways, this is what we're here for. The Los Angeles Rams and Cleveland Browns have agreed to an all-time blockbuster deal that sends 2024 Defensive Rookie of the Year 25-year-old Jared Verse to the Cleveland Browns alongside a 2027 first-rounder, a 2028 second-rounder, and a 2029 third-rounder in return for Myles Garrett. And not many times do deals really fully work out both ways, but in this case, it does work out both ways. So from a Rams POV, they've been under this plan for multiple years at this point. Obviously, it got him a Super Bowl a few seasons back. It got him close to one this year. They don't care about draft picks. They haven't cared about draft picks. They've been able to be in win now mode for quite a bit of time. And, this just proves that further. So, you're going to have to look at it. If you look at it in the short term, this is a fantastic deal for them. Just purely look at short term. So some of the pluses that you're going to get is obviously Myles Garrett. He's the sack king. He had 23 sacks last year, obviously broke the record. So they are picking up a player in their current win now state. They're getting by far the best player in his position. And there's no doubt about it. Now, if you think about a con, you would hope that and think that they have a plan in place for this already. How are they going to afford Puka Nacua? I kind of feel like that they have to have a plan in place. And then also you just got to think about the future a little bit here. It's like the risks that they're taking by selling off all these picks, the risks that they're taking by giving away what has been one of their best draft picks in a young and very, very talented Jared Verse. It's a little bit of a risk. And when you're in a win now scenario, you're willing to take risks. You're willing to dump picks. You're willing to give away younger, more valuable players in order to get older, more experienced, best players, which makes sense. That makes sense given their win now scenario. But it just depends on now, will this work out and how long is their window? Because I don't think Matt Stafford has more than a couple years left. And so it just depends on how much of a plan that they have in place down the line, particularly with how they're going to afford Puka Nacua, how long that they're just long-term, and whether they're going to try to get some picks back. So that is the pros and cons. But overall, from a Rams perspective, which they are a team in a win-now scenario, believing that they have the roster that they can just improve upon to win a Super Bowl, it is a great deal for them. Now, on the other side for Cleveland, last year they did a pretty good job, at least in the early rounds. Mason Graham, while he wasn't stellar on a stat sheet or anything like that, he did a lot of things that would open up Myles Garrett, and he would kind of take on a lot of the double teams and some blocking and stuff like that to make it easier on the guys around him. And then obviously Carson Schwarzenegger, who I believe won Defensive Rookie of the Year this season, and he was a great pick out of the second round for them. So They've done a good job. I think Quinshon Judkins is also going to be a good player for them for the future as well. So they've done a good job of it recently. Now, obviously, again, when you pick up picks, obviously they're wait and see. You're going to have to see how they do. But once you draft them, but getting a first, a second, and a third rounder, especially the first rounder for next year, given the current situation the Browns are in. There's been a lot of change in Cleveland, but I don't really see them being super successful this season still. I think it's still another year of change for them. Hopefully their full-time reset button. But, they're a team that wants to build picks. And then alongside building those picks, you have Jared Verse now, who's one of the best young defenders at his position in the entirety of the NFL. So, it's like Obviously, he's not going to be able to match what Myles Garrett been able to do for your franchise, but what it is going to do is just give you a piece that is still going to be highly productive, a very, very good addition. And, you dump off all that money, that 4-year, $160 million contract off of your plate. It is a money-friendly deal for Cleveland. I mean, according to my search, they're clearing $8.3 million now. But there is going to be dead money in 2026 and dead money in 2027, which, obviously if they're building picks, I mean, even knowing this piece of information, I still think that this is a great move for them. I mean, I think it's just a necessary trade, and reading that bit of information, it doesn't change my opinion. It's a trade to maximize their long-term future. Myles Garrett is 30, and they're paying him all that money. They're not winning right now. That is why the Rams wanted him, and that's why the Rams need him, but the Browns don't. And you think if you only got picks out of this deal, that's when you scratch your head a little bit. You feel like you could have gotten a little bit more. But now that you get an edge rusher, like I mentioned, that is up and coming, or not even up and coming, he is good. He has already came, pause. But, he's already reaching his potential. He still has ways to go, obviously, but in terms he's already well up here, but he can get even better. I have high belief in Jared Verse. The fact that you're getting a 25-year-old instead of a 31-year-old, you're saving this money, you can control these picks for the future, and you get a little bit of cap relief with it. There's no doubt that this is a good trade for Cleveland. Now, if you had to choose a winner of the deal, maybe you say Cleveland, just because you understand fully the direction that this trade takes you. If you're looking at it on the side of the Rams, you don't know exactly what the future holds after this 2 years of win now, right? But like I said, for the Browns, it opens them up, and you know what they're trying to do for the future in a rebuilding scenario. But again, the Rams are in a complete win now. They're taking a gamble here. I mean, there's a big financial commitment that they're taking off. They got rid of one of their best young players, and it's going to make it interesting. Like I said, not just Puka Nacua, but you have other guys at key positions on that roster that it's going to make it hard for them to keep all their young guys. They're not going to be able to do it. If they're able to get a Super Bowl out of this, and then they're willing to take a couple potentially rough years and not keep all their young core talent around, then that might be worth it depending on which Rams fan you ask. But then at the same time, if they don't win a Super Bowl out of this, they've got a retiring quarterback. They're not going to be able to keep all these guys. So it's really kind of, if the Rams don't win a Super Bowl, it's kind of going to be viewed a little bit as a failure. But in this exact moment in time, it is a fantastic deal for both sides.